The Stretch Shortening Cycle, a production by Brooke Miner. In order to understand the stretch shortening cycle, it is important to understand an eccentric contraction and a concentric contraction. An eccentric contraction can be described as a lengthening of a muscle under load. A simple way to describe this could be lowering a dumbbell in a biceps curl. A concentric contraction can be described as a shortening of a muscle in order to generate force. A simple way to describe this can be picking up a dumbbell and performing a curl. The stretch shortening cycle is described as a rapid muscle action where the muscle undergoes an eccentric contraction followed by an amortization period prior to the concentric contraction. The action of the stretch shortening cycle is perhaps best described as a spring-like mechanism where the compressing of the coil causes it to rebound and therefore jump off a surface or in a different direction. Phase 1 is the eccentric phase, which involves preloading the muscle groups. During this phase, elastic energy is stored and the muscle spindles are stimulated. As the muscle spindles are stretched, they send a signal to the spinal cord. Phase 2 is the time between the eccentric and concentric contractions known as the amortization phase. It begins at the beginning of the eccentric phase and ends at the initiation of the concentric contraction. This time period is essential as it determines the effectiveness of the muscle activity in the concentric phase. It is important to understand that this phase must be short in order to get maximal contraction during the concentric contraction. The longer this phase is, the more energy dissipates and reduces muscle activity during the final phase. Phase 3 is known as the concentric phase, and it is the reaction to the amortization and the eccentric phases. Stored elastic energy from the eccentric phase is used to increase force produced during the concentric phase. Now I'll give a few examples as to why proper loading form as well as a short amortization period are essential for a good concentric phase. In this video, the amortization phase is being held for an unnecessarily long period of time. All of the stored elastic energy from the eccentric phase is dissipating as heat and is now useless in the concentric phase. Here my feet barely get off the ground. Starting from a fully flexed position, it is difficult to develop maximum force because the leg muscles and the jumping leg are in an anatomically poor position to drive upward. Due to the long amortization period, loss of elastic energy, and improper loading technique, I was unable to jump on a 2-foot stack of tires. Having your legs fully extended is also a poor position to drive upwards, and minimizes the total force applied by the leg muscles. In conclusion, the combination of a proper loading technique as well as a short amortization phase allows me to use the elastic energy produced and to maximize my concentric phase.
That's all, folks.